In this video, we're going to learn about the chain rule. So first off, let's say we had the function y of x equals x cubed. Then we know that y prime of x is going to be 3 times x squared. And this is from the power rule, right? So this is pretty easy to do. The 3 comes down, and you subtract 1 from it, and that's your derivative. Okay, so what if we had a much more complicated function like this? F of x is equal to 5x plus 1 to the third. So this is similar, right? We have something raised to the third power, but in this case, we have a function raised to the third power, not just x raised to the third power. So we have something inside, and then we have something outside. And that's how I like to think about the chain rule. It's when you have an inside function and an outside function. So I'm going to write the inside in blue and the outside in orange. Okay, so this is f of x. So how would we take the derivative of this? Okay, that's what we're going to learn with the chain rule. So the inside function is 5x plus 1, and the outside function is x cubed. Okay, so how would we write f of x in terms of these guys? Well, let's call the outside function g of x. And let's call the inside function h of x. These are just arbitrary names that we're coming up with. How do we write f of x? Well, h of x is inside, right? Oops. I should write that in blue. So h of x is inside. We're taking that and we're cubing it. So then we're doing g of h of x. Let's check to make sure that that makes sense. G of h of x. Okay, that's going to be g of h of x. What is h of x? It's 5x plus 1. So g of 5x plus 1. G of anything is that thing cubed. So g of 5x plus 1 is 5x plus 1 cubed. Yep, that's exactly what we're working with. So f of x is g of h of x. And what you have to memorize is the derivative formula for something that looks like this. The derivative of g of h of x is going to be g prime of h of x multiplied by h prime of x. Now this is very confusing the first time you learn it. G prime of h of x times h prime of x. What does that mean? For this one, what you want to think about is you have something cubed, right? What would the derivative of this look like? It's going to be 3 times something to the 3 minus 1, or 2. This is taking the derivative of the outside. You don't care what's in the brackets, right? You don't care what's in the parentheses. This is the general shape, the general form that's going to happen. So all we have to do is fill in the brackets. That gets sent to this. We don't care what's inside, we just take the derivative of the shape. And the shape is something cubed. Okay, then h prime of x, we know that h of x is 5x plus 1, and the derivative of that is just 5. So using this formula, I'll write it over here. F prime of x is equal to 3 times 5x plus 1, quantity squared, multiplied by 5. Remember, this part on the left is g prime of h of x, and the part on the right is h prime of x. We can simplify that by multiplying the 3 and the 5. So it's 15 times 5x plus 1 squared. And that's f prime of x.